All right, you asshats, welcome back to the Deep Dive. This time, we're going deep into the world of Indian cricket. Why the fuck is it so goddamn huge? Well, you're in the right place to find out. Get ready to blow some minds at your next pub quiz. Because we're about to unpack what makes this sport so goddamn fascinating.
Indian cricket is like a religion. It's a cultural phenomenon, a national obsession. It's woven into the very fabric of Indian society.
Yeah, now they've been kicking ass lately. Asia Cup, T20 World Cup, they're the fucking champions of both. How the hell did they get so good? It's a combination of factors. Natural talent, a passionate fan base that pushes them to excel, and strategic investments in developing the sport.
All right, so let's break this shit down. First off, what the fuck is the difference between Test cricket, ODIs, and T20? I'm always hearing these terms, but I'm not really sure what they mean. Think of it like this. Test cricket is the OG, the classic format, played over 5 days. It's a battle of attrition, a test of patience and endurance. ODIs, or one-day internationals, are like the shorter, faster-paced version, with each team getting 50 overs to score. And then you've got T20, the newest, most explosive format, where the game is completed in about 3 hours. It's all about hitting big and scoring fast.
Okay, so T20 is like the cricket equivalent of a shot of espresso, while Test cricket is more like sipping on a fine whiskey.
Exactly. Each format has its own unique charm and demands different skills from the players.
Now let's talk about those players. You mentioned talent, and these guys have got it in spades. I mean, Sachin Tendulkar, the god of cricket. This dude's got more records than a vinyl store. Most runs, most centuries in both Test and ODI cricket. What the fuck, man? How is that even possible?
Tendulkar is an icon, a legend whose career spanned over 2 decades. His dedication, discipline, and sheer talent made him a force to be reckoned with. He wasn't just a batsman, he was a symbol of hope for a nation.
Yeah, I've heard stories about people literally worshiping him. It's insane. But he's not the only badass in Indian cricket. You've got Virat Kohli, the aggressive captain. Rohit Sharma, the hitman. These guys are beasts. And they've both retired from T20 this year. What's that all about?
It's a strategic move, focusing their energy on the longer formats of the game. And it creates an opportunity for new talent to emerge, keeping the team dynamic and competitive.
Makes sense. But filling those shoes won't be easy. Those are some big-ass shadows to step out of. Okay, so we've got legendary players, a passionate fan base, and these different formats of the game. But let's talk about those insane records. I mean, Virender Sehwag smashing 319 runs in a single innings. That's just batshit crazy.
That was a triple century in Test cricket, a feat achieved by only a handful of batsmen in the entire history of the sport. To put it into perspective, it's like scoring 100 points in a basketball game. Almost unheard of. And Sehwag did it with his signature aggressive style, blasting the ball to all parts of the ground. He was a true entertainer.
Damn, that's impressive. And what about Dhoni's 183 not out as a wicketkeeper? I know he's a legend, but what makes that score so special?
Wicket-keepers are primarily known for their defensive skills behind the stumps, not their batting prowess. But Dhoni defied expectations, becoming one of the most explosive and innovative wicket-keeper batsmen the world has ever seen. That 183 not out was a testament to his power and versatility.
So he's like the Swiss Army knife of cricketers. Can do it all. Damn. I'm starting to see why this sport is so goddamn captivating. But it can't all be sunshine and rainbows, right? I mean, what about that match-fixing scandal back in 2000? That must have been a total shit show.
It was a dark chapter in Indian cricket history. It rocked the sport to its core and left a lasting impact on the fans and the players. It was a betrayal of trust, and it took years for the team to rebuild its image and regain the confidence of the nation.
Yeah, I bet that pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Imagine having your heroes turn out to be crooks. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
But, hey, let's move on to something a little later. Let's talk about the fans. Indian cricket fans are legendary.
Right.
I've seen pictures of those crazy crowds. Tell me about that energy.
Indian cricket fans are some of the most passionate and dedicated in the world. Their enthusiasm is contagious. From the Swami Army's colorful antics to the deafening roars in packed stadiums, they create an atmosphere unlike any other.
I've heard stories about fans burning effigies of players after a bad loss. That's taking fandom to a whole new level.
That kind of extreme behavior is rare, but it highlights the emotional intensity surrounding Indian cricket. It's not just a game for these fans, it's a matter of national pride. And with that comes immense pressure on the players to perform.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Right.
That passionate support can be a huge boost, but it can also be a heavy burden.
Exactly. And navigating that pressure is part of what makes Indian cricket so compelling. It's a high-stakes game, both on and off the field.
All right, so we've covered the different formats of the game, the legendary players, the insane records, the dark side of match fixing, and the passionate fans.
Yeah.
But what the hell is next for these guys? What does the future hold for Indian cricket?
That's the million-dollar question. With some of the older players retiring, there's a new generation waiting in the wings, eager to make their mark.
New blood, new rivalries, new challenges. Sounds like it's only going to get more intense. But before we delve into that, let's talk about this crazy organization. The BCCI. What the fuck is up with these guys? They seem to have more power than God himself.
The Board of Control for Cricket in India, or BCCI, is the richest and most powerful cricket board in the world.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to throw their weight around. I've heard stories about them dictating terms to the ICC and calling the shots on everything. From scheduling to sponsorships, it's like they're running their own damn empire.
The BCCI's influence is undeniable. They control the finances, the infrastructure, and the direction of Indian cricket, and their decisions have a ripple effect throughout the cricketing world.
So they're basically the puppet masters of Indian cricket, pulling the strings and making sure everything goes their way. That's some serious power. But hey, power isn't always a bad thing.
Right. It depends how it's used. The BCCI has been instrumental in the growth and development of Indian cricket, investing heavily in infrastructure and talent development. They've turned it into a global powerhouse.
Okay, I can see that. But they've also had their fair share of controversies and accusations of corruption.
That's true. The BCCI's unchecked power has been a subject of debate, with some arguing for more transparency and accountability.
Right, because absolute power corrupts absolutely, or some bullshit like that. But let's not get bogged down in politics. We're here to talk about cricket, and specifically the visual side of things. Those Indian cricket uniforms are pretty iconic.
Right.
Those blue jerseys and helmets. Talk about patriotic swagger.
The uniforms are a symbol of national pride, a visual representation of India's cricketing identity.
Yeah, and they've had some pretty sweet designs over the years. I remember those Nike kits. Those were pretty damn cool. And now they're back with Adidas. Big bucks. Big brands. Makes sense. Indian cricket is a marketing goldmine.
Absolutely. The commercialization of Indian cricket has been phenomenal. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, attracting sponsorships from major global brands.
And it's not just about the jerseys. The whole spectacle of Indian cricket is visually stunning. The colorful crowds, the fireworks, the elaborate celebrations. It's a feast for the eyes.
It's a sensory overload, a vibrant and chaotic blend of sport, culture, and entertainment.
All right, let's bring it back to the human element for a second. We talked about the fans, the players, the BCCI. But what about the individual stories? Are there any particularly crazy or inspiring tales that come to mind?
There are countless stories of triumph, heartbreak, and perseverance in Indian cricket. Each player has their own unique journey, their own battles fought and won.
All right, spill the beans. Give me some juicy anecdotes.
Well, there's the story of MS Dhoni, who rose from humble beginnings in a small town to become one of the most successful captains in Indian cricket history.
Yeah, Dhoni's a legend. His journey is the ultimate underdog story. From a small-town ticket collector to a World Cup winning captain. Talk about defying the odds.
His story resonated with millions of Indians, proving that with talent, hard work, and a bit of luck, anything is possible.
And then you've got guys like Yuvraj Singh, who battled cancer and came back to play at the highest level. Talk about a fighter.
Yuvraj's story is an inspiration to people all over the world. He faced incredible adversity with courage and determination, proving that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
Damn, these stories are making me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But let's not get too sentimental. We're here to delve into the nitty-gritty, the raw and unfiltered reality of Indian cricket. So let's talk about some of the challenges facing the sport. What are the issues that need to be addressed?
One of the biggest challenges is ensuring that the benefits of cricket success trickle down to the grassroots level.
Right, because it's all well and good having these big money tournaments and sponsorships. But what about the kids in the slums who dream of playing for India? Are they getting the support they need?
That's a valid point. There's a need for more investment in infrastructure, coaching, and talent identification at the grassroots level. We need to make sure that cricket is accessible to everyone, not just the privileged few.
Yeah, because if you only focus on the elite, you're missing out on a whole pool of potential superstars. And what about the issue of corruption? We talked about the match-fixing scandal, but is that still a problem?
The BCCI has taken steps to address corruption, but it remains a constant threat. There's a lot of money at stake in Indian cricket, and that attracts shady characters looking to make a quick buck.
Yeah, greed can be a powerful motivator. And let's not forget about the intense pressure on the players. We've talked about the passionate fans, but that can be a double-edged sword. How are they coping with the expectations and scrutiny?
The pressure is immense, and it takes a toll on their mental and physical health. There's a need for more support systems to help them manage the stress and expectations.
Right, because at the end of the day, they're human beings,
Yeah.
not robots. And even the toughest athletes can crack under that kind of pressure. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, but before we wrap up this part of the deep dive, I want to ask you a question that's been bugging me. What is it about Indian cricket that makes it so goddamn special? I mean, why is it so much more than just a sport in India?
Indian cricket is a reflection of the nation itself. It's a melting pot of cultures, languages, and religions, all united by a shared passion for the game.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like a microcosm of India, with all its complexities and contradictions. But it's also a source of unity, something that brings people together regardless of their background. All right, that's all the time we have for part 1 of this deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, but there's still so much more to explore.
Indian cricket. It's a tapestry woven with threads of history, passion, and national identity. It's a story of struggle and triumph, a reflection of India's journey as a nation.
Damn, that's deep, man. You've got me feeling all philosophical and shit. But let's not get too carried away with the touchy-feely stuff. We're here to dig into the dirt, the nitty-gritty details that make Indian cricket so goddamn fascinating. So let's talk about rivalries. I know India has a pretty intense rivalry with Pakistan, right? Tell me about that.
The India-Pakistan rivalry, it's one of the fiercest and most emotionally charged in the sporting world. It transcends the boundaries of cricket, reflecting historical, political, and cultural tensions between the two nations.
Yeah, I've heard stories about matches between these two teams, literally bringing the entire subcontinent to a standstill. People glued to their TVs, streets deserted, businesses closed. It's like the whole damn world revolves around this one game.
The atmosphere during an India-Pakistan match, it's electric. The stadiums are packed, the fans are raucous, and the pressure on the players is immense. It's a spectacle unlike any other.
And the stakes are higher, right? It's not just about bragging rights. It's about national pride, about proving your country's dominance over the other.
Absolutely. An India-Pakistan match. It's a battle for supremacy, a clash of ideologies and identities. And the emotions run high on both sides, leading to both incredible displays of sportsmanship and, unfortunately, occasional outbursts of hostility.
Yeah, I've heard some pretty wild stories about fan reactions, burning effigies, riots in the streets, even players receiving death threats. Talk about taking it to the extreme.
While such extreme reactions are rare, they highlight the passionate and sometimes volatile nature of the rivalry. It's a reminder that sport can be a powerful force, capable of both uniting and dividing people.
All right, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the future of Indian cricket. With some of the legendary players retiring, there's a new generation stepping up to the plate. Who are some of the rising stars we should be keeping an eye on?
There are a number of talented young players emerging who have the potential to become future superstars. Shubman Gill, a stylish and technically gifted batsman, is one to watch. Then there is Rishabh Pant, a dynamic wicketkeeper batsman who's known for his aggressive stroke play. And let's not forget about Jasprit Bumrah, a fast bowler with a unique action and the ability to swing the ball both ways.
So they got the batsmen, the bowlers, the all-rounders, the whole package. Damn, it sounds like Indian cricket is in good hands.
Yeah.
But what about the women's team? They've been making waves lately, too. Tell me about their journey.
The Indian women's cricket team has made significant strides in recent years, breaking down barriers and challenging stereotypes. They've reached the finals of major tournaments, proving their strength on the international stage.
Yeah, I remember watching them in the last T20 World Cup final. They put up a hell of a fight. It's awesome to see them getting the recognition they deserve. But have they always been this successful? What's their story?
Their journey, it hasn't been easy. They've faced challenges from lack of funding and infrastructure to societal biases and limited opportunities, but they've persevered, driven by their passion for the game and their desire to represent their country.
So they've had to overcome a lot of bullshit to get to where they are today.
That's it.
That's inspiring as hell. But are they getting the same level of support as the men's team now? I mean, are they finally getting the recognition and resources they deserve?
There's still a gap between the men's and women's game in terms of pay sponsorships and media coverage, but the situation is improving. And the BCCI is investing more in the development of women's cricket.
That's good to hear. Because if you're to call it Indian cricket, it should represent all the damn players, not just the men. Equality and all that shit. All right, let's step back for a second and talk about the cultural significance of Indian cricket. I mean, you said it yourself earlier. It's woven into the fabric of Indian society. But what does that actually mean?
Indian cricket, it's more than just a sport. It's a cultural phenomenon that reflects the nation's values, aspirations, and identity.
Okay, but give me some concrete examples. How does it actually manifest in everyday life?
Well, for starters, cricket is a common language that unites people from different backgrounds. It's a conversation starter, a source of shared joy and disappointment.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like a universal icebreaker. You can walk into any bar or restaurant in India, and if there's a cricket match on, you're instantly part of the conversation.
Exactly. And it's not just about watching the game. Cricket metaphors, they permeate everyday language, from business negotiations to family discussions.
So it's like a cultural shorthand, a way of expressing ideas and emotions that everyone understands. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
But what about the impact on young people? I mean, cricket is like a religion for kids in India, right?
Cricket, it's a powerful force in shaping the dreams and aspirations of young Indians. It teaches them valuable life lessons about teamwork, discipline, and resilience.
Yeah, and let's not forget about the heroes it creates. I mean, these cricketers, they're like demigods in India. Kids idolize them. They want to be like them. Talk about role models.
These cricketers, they're more than just athletes. They're cultural icons who embody the hopes and aspirations of a nation.
And they carry a lot of weight on their shoulders, right? The expectations, the pressure to perform, the scrutiny from the media and the fans, it's a lot to handle.
The pressure is immense, and it's a testament to their mental fortitude that they can perform at such a high level under such intense scrutiny.
All right, let's wrap up this part of the deep dive with a question that's been on my mind. We've talked about the past, the present, the challenges, the triumphs, but what about the future? What does the future hold for Indian cricket?
The future of Indian cricket, it's bright, filled with possibilities and challenges.
But be more specific, damn it. Give me some juicy predictions.
Well, for starters, we can expect to see the continued rise of T20 cricket. Its fast-paced format and entertainment value are attracting new fans worldwide.
Yeah, T20. It's like the adrenaline shot of cricket. It's fast, it's furious, and it's perfect for our short attention spans. But what about the other formats? Will Test cricket survive?
Test cricket will always hold a special place in the hearts of cricket purists. It's the ultimate test of skill, strategy, and endurance. But it will need to adapt to the changing times, perhaps with shorter formats or more innovative approaches to scheduling and presentation.
So it's like the fine wine of cricket. It needs to age gracefully and find new ways to appeal to a younger generation. And what about the women's game? Will they finally get the recognition and support they deserve?
The women's game is on an upward trajectory, and we can expect to see continued growth in terms of participation, viewership, and investment.
Yeah, right. It's about time they get their due. And what about the issue of corruption? Will the BCCI ever get its shit together and clean up the sport?
The BCCI has taken steps to address corruption, but it's an ongoing battle. Transparency, accountability, and stricter enforcement of rules are essential to ensure the integrity of the game.
Right, because if people start to lose faith in the fairness of the sport,
Yeah.
the whole damn thing could crumble. Okay, one last question before we move on to part 3. What's your take on the impact of technology on Indian cricket? I mean, we've got all this new tech, from Hawkeye to DRS to data analytics. Is it changing the game for better or for worse?
Technology, it's a double-edged sword. It can enhance the game, providing greater accuracy in decision-making and deepening our understanding of the sport, but it can also lead to over-reliance on technology and a loss of the human element.
Yeah, it's like anything else. You got to use it wisely. Or it can end up fucking things up. All right, so that's all the time we have for part 2 of this deep dive. We've explored the rivalries, the future of the sport, the cultural significance, the impact of technology, but there's still one burning question we need to address. What the fuck is the secret sauce that makes Indian cricket so goddamn addictive? That's what we'll be tackling in part 3. So stay tuned, you asshats, because things are about to get real interesting. All right, you asshats, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the wild world of Indian cricket. We've talked about the history, the players, the rivalries, the cultural significance, the whole goddamn shebang. But there's one question that's been bugging me from the start. What the fuck is the secret sauce that makes this sport so goddamn addictive? Why are people in India so obsessed with this shit?
It's a combination of factors, a
Yeah.
perfect storm of cultural, historical, and emotional elements that come together to create this unique and intoxicating brew.
Okay, but break it down for me. Give me the ingredients of this magic potion. What's the recipe for Indian cricket's success?
First, you have the historical legacy. Cricket was introduced to India by the British, but it quickly took root and became a symbol of resistance and national identity.
So it's like a post-colonial hangover. The colonized, turning the colonizers' game into their own. That's pretty badass.
Exactly. Cricket became a way for Indians to assert their own identity and pride, and that legacy continues to this day.
Okay, so history is one ingredient. What else is in this goddamn potion?
Then you have the cultural context. India is a land of passion, drama, and spectacle. And cricket, with its unpredictable nature, its moments of brilliance and heartbreak, its heroes and villains, fits perfectly into that cultural landscape.
Yeah, it's like a Bollywood movie come to life, full of twists and turns, soaring highs and crushing lows.
Yeah.
Keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole goddamn time.
Precisely. Cricket taps into that emotional roller coaster, that love of drama and spectacle that's so ingrained in Indian culture.
All right, so we've got history, we've got culture. What else is fueling this obsession?
And then, of course, you have the human element. The players, the fans, the rivalries. They all contribute to the emotional intensity of the sport.
Yeah, we've talked about those passionate fans. They're like a force of nature. They live and breathe cricket. It's not just a game for them, it's a way of life.
And the players themselves become larger-than-life figures embodying the hopes and dreams of a nation. They're revered as heroes, worshipped as gods, and their every move is scrutinized, analyzed, and debated with a fervor that's almost religious.
So it's like a soap opera, a reality show, and a gladiatorial contest all rolled into one. Damn, that's a potent cocktail.
And then you add in the element of national pride, the sense of unity and belonging that comes from supporting your team on the world stage.
Yeah, there's nothing like watching your team thrash the Aussies or the Palms to get your patriotic juices flowing.
Yeah.
It's like a collective high, a moment of shared triumph that brings the entire nation together.
And that feeling of unity and collective identity is especially powerful in a diverse and complex country like India.
So it's like a glue that binds people together, transcending differences of language, religion, caste, and social class. That's pretty damn powerful.
Absolutely. Cricket is a unifying force, a shared passion that cuts across all boundaries.
Okay, I'm starting to get it now. It's not just about the game itself. It's about history, culture, emotion, identity, and a whole lot of goddamn passion. It's a potent mix that's impossible to resist.
And that, my friend, is the secret sauce of Indian cricket.
All right, you asshats. That's it for our deep dive into the crazy, chaotic, and captivating world of Indian cricket. We've covered a lot of ground, but we've only scratched the surface of this complex and fascinating sport. So go out there, watch some damn cricket, and see for yourself what all the fuss is about. And remember, it's not just a game. It's a goddamn cultural phenomenon. Until next time, keep it real, keep it raw, and keep those stumps shaking.